Some years ago, my sister and I, together with my grown-up sons, decided to move together into a large old house that we had found for a ridiculously cheap price. We were so pleased with the amount of space that we didn't ask any questions, like, for example, why it was so cheap. Well, my eldest son and I went there for our first night in April, and it was very cold. The heating hadn't been switched on yet. We found out later that it didn't work at all, but that's a different story. Because of the cold, we decided to sleep in the attic. My son slept in what was going to be his room, and I on the landing. That night, I had one of the worst nightmares of my life. One of those where you pray thanks that you are back in reality after you woke up. Well, next day, after a breakfast, I pushed it from my mind. We proceeded to move in. A short while later, I started getting sleep apnea. I'd never had it in my life. Put it down to me getting older and putting weight on. It was quite horrifying. Constantly feared that one of these apneas would literally kill me. But I plowed on, went to work, did lots of work around the house. At some point, I began having these extremely weird dreams where I would endlessly regurgitate a light-colored, grainy, pulpy substance. It would go on and on and on until I'd finally wake up. These dreams kept on happening, but I thought they must be symbolic. Maybe I wasn't content with the new situation, or the new job, or something. I eventually found out that the previous owner had hanged himself in the attic, in the very spot where I had decided to spend my first night. Still didn't make any connection, as I'm a pretty down-to-earth person. Only after moving out of the house, because the heating never got fixed, when suddenly both the sleep apnea and the nightmares stopped, did I start to think that maybe this poor man's soul latched onto me, in the hope of what? I cannot tell. I don't think I helped him move on, and that makes me sad. I wonder if anyone else has ever had this kind of dream. So far, I haven't found anyone anywhere on the web who had this experience.